till now before we're too far gone. I hope one day they finally see the truth. Yeah, we need you now.
Okay, 2 seconds, 3 seconds. I think it's working now. Yes, it is. There we are. How's everybody doing tonight? It's Friday night, 49 degrees Fahrenheit, partly cloudy. That beats so many things tonight. Um, I was just hanging around YouTube, listening to a bunch of stuff that's going on. Um, as usual, if Friday night, I remember when Friday nights used to be fun night, went out with your buddies, or your girls went out with their girlfriends, and it's definitely a different time because you went out to the skating rink, the ice cream shop, and stuff like that. Didn't have cell phones to interrupt your night. You actually had things called crushes. Um, if it was summertime, that was two-part thing. You had a crush and a snow cone crush. Um, but none of that exists anymore. Now you got a, a romantic conversation is a text. Everything's done through text. So I was kind of surprised that in this so-called YouTube world, it's it's amazing to me that I haven't been on here for a bit and just kind of searching around, checking stuff out. I'll get to Daryl in a second, but you think that people change and they don't. It's the same old gossip. I think the only thing that changes is the 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 people who last the longest. However long your subscribers last, they start to hear creators saying the same things over and over. And if you've been a subscriber to someone, when you hear the stories over and over, and you're like, why are we listening to this, right? We heard it already 100 times. Well, then congratulations, because you're what should be called a veteran subscriber because you've been there a long time. And those stories are for the new people that haven't heard them yet. And so it just amazes me, um, just how it circulates and is the same thing over and over. I mean, I heard stuff that I've been listening to, oh, 4 years. And I'm not a big YouTube person, but I've been hearing the same stories for 4 years or more. Um, and I'm not a steady listening to YouTube either. So that makes it worse. Um, It's kind of weird. Um, I see groups that fell apart. They didn't make it. They're not friendly anymore. I guess till the next go round. Um, but now, okay, let's talk about Daryl a few minutes. I haven't decided if I'm going to continue with the trial on Daryl Brooks. The reason for that is that yes, I still find his case and his actions and his character an interesting view of a court system that allowed him to get away with that. I just had a lot of people acting or assuming that I was taking a stance against the court system. Um, and that's not what I was doing at all. What I was doing was just showing how that court system worked with someone like him. And I felt the court system gave him too much leniency for his crime. Um, I wish they had reeled it in tightly on him before he ever got that much control. Not that he ever had control, but the mockery he made. Um, it wasn't a comedy show. So I've had a lot of people just not understand what I was doing. And then also, I started to think, as time went on, that I was giving him more credit and keeping his story alive without giving uh, um, enough, um, what's the word? Uh,
I can't think of the word.
I can't think of the word either. Without giving enough attention to the people of the lives that was lost, which that was a big thing that I didn't like that I myself was doing. And so, and no one even said that to me. I mean, of all the things people said, people wanted me to skip forward in the trial and show to talk about his girlfriend. And had I just been talking about his girlfriend, people would have been okay. Um, and I know when you pick a court case to do that, you're going to get a lot of flack from people, whether they're for it, against it, or whatever. But with all of that, it made me think more. Uh, I just didn't like the way the courts allowed him to do what he was doing all the way through it. Yeah, it was good comedy, but it shouldn't have been comical. Um, I think there should have been, more respect to the dead than there was given. And so at some point, after reading comments here, there, everywhere, it made me start to think about it more and how I wanted to present it and keep presenting it. And you can't really keep presenting it without showing that part of his character because that's how he was. Um, I've done other court cases and just didn't talk about that part. Mostly what I've done um, is like missing children and stuff like that. And because this affected children, with it being in a parade and all that, I didn't think it would be like it was. And so, with me continuing on with him and not talking about the children that were hurt in the parade, that didn't sit well with me. So, I decided to stop that series and take time for myself. And that's where I've been. I stopped this series, took time for myself to see what my next project will be. And I don't know what that's going to be yet, but I'm going to do something because I'm always going to. But I don't do things on my channel for other people. Um, like when I say for other people, I don't mean for people uh, for content to do. That's not what I mean. I mean, I'm not in any competition with anybody. I don't care what other creators think about my channel, whether they agree or don't agree. That's not any part of my channel whatsoever. Um, in fact, if there's a case that somebody or something that people want to bring out and get more light shine onto it, just, you know, put it in a comment or shoot me a message or something and I'll check into it. Um, I think children that are being exploited and missing and actually, when I say missing, I mean there are children missing all over the world. And if it's not bad enough that they're missing, the ones that are being traded like a commodity is worse. To me, it is. Um, that's a hard enough subject to do. I heard the other day, I heard a creator say that this child, and I won't use their name, um, they've been missing so long. The creator said, they've been missing for so long. We all know that they are deceased. We just don't want to say it or anything like that. So we don't want to say it because we don't want the parents to think that. And I was kind of shocked to hear creators say that because I'm not counting anybody out. There are kids that have been traded on the hot market and end up being found. And I'm never going to count a kid out unless I have a body. Because the kid could be deceased, but the kid also could still be alive doing what that child has to do in order to come back home. And if you're a creator who does stories about missing children or looking for missing children, and you're the one who's saying you've been looking for this one kid for so long, obviously they're deceased, and nobody just wants to say it, then you might need to step back for a little while and, get your thoughts back together and what you're really doing this for. Because I don't know how, if you think, depending on time, that the child is gone, then I don't understand how you do your job. Um, or what you call as your job. Um, the hardest part is to stay on track. Um, white boy, white boy with bangs Nasir, did you see the new footage of Salvador Ramos inside the gun store and his mother was arrested? No, I haven't seen that. But I will look for it as soon as I get off of here. I his his real mother was arrested, or a grandmother. Well, I'm not surprised if the mother was arrested. I mean, she wasn't a good. I don't know what her actual deal is. I mean, I wouldn't. I mean, that's why he lived with his grandmother, because she didn't have her stuff together. But I'm gonna go look for that new footage. Um, Something that also, since you brought it up about Salvador Ramos, uh, White Boy Banks, they are, from last thing I heard on the new footage of Salvador, is that because of Salvador, they're considering tearing down the school. Not for sure yet, but they're considering it. So, that's, I mean, they do this all the time. Oh, how nice. Wow. White Boy Bang says his mother threatened to kill a man. Well, there you go. I guess the fruit did not fall from the tree very far. But then again, I've taken a whole different stance on Salvador Ramos than every other creator. I did a whole series on Salvador, and I guess I do look at his. Well, here I go again. I take the side of Salvador Rios. I know that he stepped off the edge and did what he thought he was going to do, and I don't believe that his grandmother could have helped him or anybody else, especially his mother. Now, I'm surprised she wasn't in jail before Salvador did what he did. Um, that's just crazy. Not even like, how can we have, well, we can have a bad thing for Salvador because of what he actually did. But to see his mother threaten to kill a man, and then her comment that she made that day in the car, she said he did what he had to do. And at first, when she said that, I really didn't understand her saying that. So I need to do a catch up. I thought we covered it all the way, and it couldn't have been any more done with Salvador Ramos because, well, I went all the way to the across the border and back with this story. But I'm glad you brought that up, White Boy Banks. I'm going to see if we can go deeper on this story, deeper than across the border, and then check into his mom a little more. I already checked into the grandma. Grandma is not an easy character either. I really think this is a whole. When I started talking about smuggling and across the border, the trains run right there, 1 block from the house. I believe there's a huge trafficking thing going on, And I believe Salvador Ramos was involved in was involved in being trafficked across the border. I highly believe that. Um, so that one section that's around 2, 3, 4 blocks right there is a huge alien based, no green card, no nothing, not citizens, no real uh no real understanding of who's there, who lives where, as long as they stay out of trouble. The cops and the border patrol, which is very big in the neighborhood, they aren't really messing with them as long as they don't step across out of line. And then, of course, the only thing that happens then is somebody dies. That's, that's a little weird. Don't shoot them to maim them. Let's not. Wow. I'm glad you brought that up, white boy. Well, see, that's what I'm talking about. When Salvador did this to the school, I took a different approach. Everybody did it from the school's perspective and the children and what happened. I did it from Salvador and his view, and I dug deep into his background and his home life, and I went across the border with him, and to hear all the things that way, because he was the shooter, and we needed to climb into his shoes to truly understand what happened that made him snap that way. And see, this is how it's going with, well, look, just the other day, we had American citizens across the border at best 10 miles. Yeah, should they have been there for the reason that they were there? Well, do you know the reason that they were there? The reason that they were there was to get medical treatment. It was elective medical treatment, but nonetheless, they were going there for medical treatment. The white boy says, by the way, on the footage in the hallway at time of 12:20, or Salvador starts yelling at the cops, you can hear him. Yes, I have looked at that set right there, and I have it on audio, and I'll tell you one thing. That's a hard press. I think it's Salvador yelling at the cops, but making it out totally different idea. But I will, I'm definitely going back for it, and keeping it. I really think Salvador, I wonder why Salvador said that to his mother. I did what I had to do. That's a hell of a statement from a kid. I did what I had to do. And mom did not say that she felt sorry for him. She might have been hurt, but she repeated the sentences. He did what he had to do. And we need to know what that means. Sounds simple. But okay, back to the Mexico people. The white truck went across the line. I don't know if they were 10 or 15 miles, 10 at best, inside the border. They went there for some type of medical care. Four people got kidnapped. 2 people got killed, and and 2 people got back to America alive. Yes, they went into the wrong part of Mexico. For sure. It's labeled, I can't even hardly say, is it labeled to be one of the bad parts? There's not such thing anymore as this is a bad part. I saw a map the other day that 90% minus 2 sections across the middle from left to right had 2 green sections on it, kind of raggedy, but not perfect circles, of that there was okay to go into if you were an American or someone living in that country that was of American descent. But then I don't know how you could pick them 2 green ones because you got to go through all the red ones to get there. Am I going to say they shouldn't be there? There was a lot of reasons to say about that. They were going there for medical care. Elective, I guess you could call it. But they went there. And whatever they went there for medical stuff, they thought their life was worth it. Got to remember that first. They thought their life was worth it. Because when you're going into Mexico for something, that's what you need to ask yourself first. Don't ask about if your passport is ready. Don't ask if you have, your stuff packed. Do I have a toothbrush? Do you have this? Do you got clean socks? Do you got clean drawers? You better ask yourself, is it worth my life? Because that's what it is. You see, all them people for a long time now, this ain't in the past tense. This has been going on for a long, long time. Since we'll just pick Salvador Ramos, since we're talking about him, since the time, I'll pick a short time, since the time of Salvador Ramos, back all the way from that day all the way till today, Mexicans have been blowing up the border. They've been crossing it. They've been having major sit downs. They've been crossing it like you've never seen. They're to the point now that Mexico almost doesn't have any people in it, except for the people you don't want to meet. That's who's in Mexico. The people you don't want to meet. And they're not afraid. Who are they going to be afraid of? If they're the only ones there and they're running shit, they ain't scared of nobody. They only got to wait you out. That's it. Because when officers that went in the white Jeeps in there to try and get the 2 Americans out to bring them back to America, the Mexicans know they're only going to be here a few days, but just wait you out. Do 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 do. They're just gonna wait them out. After a few days, when they think everything is fine and good and everything's settled down, they're gonna roll out back to where they were. And guess what? The ones who were waiting out, they're in charge now. Again. They wasn't never not in charge. Just because you're waiting for somebody to roll back where they work, where they live, and get out of your area doesn't mean you gave up. It doesn't mean you're weak. It actually means you're kind of smart to wait them out. And what about these children? You think all the Mexican people that are coming across the border to get into Texas don't have children with them? Of course they do. Should something have been done? Yes. Should they just be allowed free entry into this country and get free housing, $30,000 or more to start a business here? And I don't even know all they get, but it's a lot. A, a place to stay. Um, Most of the time, it's a house. You know, they give them so much stuff that they don't even get now. I mean, that they don't get in their country at all. They ain't giving them a place to rent. They give them a place that they can buy it. And they give them a loan to get a business. And they give them a lot of things that Americans who are born and bred on this land do not have. They get a lot of things that the American Indians who were born, bred on this land do not get. And no, I don't think that's okay. I want them to take the soldiers from Fort Hood and put them all across the border in Texas, all across the South. It's time to say no. There's no reason why we can't help them live within their own borders. Help them live within their own borders. So then they can be happy on their own land with their own history. That would be interesting. That would be good. We have the military to do this. Wherever that uh, wall is, we need military people along that border where the wall is, all across it, even into, where else? Arizona, Nevada, all across the Texas border. We have the military manpower to do it. They're already getting paid. They're already earning a living. That is their job, to protect the United States against all enemies, foreign and domestic. That's it. Yes, I'm a veteran. I'm not the only veteran that feels this way. It's nothing against them, not anti Mexican. We're just pro America. Big difference. Well, so What are we going to do with all the information that we're going to find out about until the next time? Well, I don't know what I'm going to do on the next time. White boy with bangs over here got me going back and checking up on Salvador at 12:20 in the footage. I have to know what that says again. I got to check it out. I also got to check on his mother and also all of that. So we're going back to Salvador Ramos, see what new information we can dig up first, because that's a deep issue to do. And when it comes to these other creators, you don't owe them anything. You just go where you want, but stop giving them your stop giving them like this huge money. That's another thing. I'm sorry, I got to talk about this before I get off of here because it's insane. I'm listening to people argue about giving somebody else, another creator, control of their Cash App, Squirrel, PayPal, Venmo. Hell, I don't even know how many there are. Okay, but I'm a creator, so I'm gonna give the creator ABC control of all my Cash App, Venmo, PayPal. Is that all of them?
That's all the ones I can think of.
Okay, and we're gonna share this, not sharing the money. Just when people are gonna give you money, it's gonna go into this. I'm just saying you can have your people put money in this too, and I'll give it to you. Are you slap ass? Are, yeah, it's. I hate to say it. Is it a trust issue? Yes. I'm not saying you're gonna cheat me. I'm just using common sense. If I have money, I'll choose to give my money who I want to, no problem. But I also want to trust that when I give my money to one person, that you can trust that it's to you and not maybe it got handed off to the other person by mistake. Oops, sorry, I took your money. Ha ha. The hell. And just the drama that it starts, man. I mean, YouTube is full of it today. All of it. All this money, he said, she said, money, 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 money. Money ain't gonna buy you respect. Money ain't gonna buy you love. Money ain't gonna buy you much but a one-way ticket to Texas. But it ain't gonna buy you a ride back. Stop being senseless. Stop fighting over he said, she said, because they told you. Get your own stuff to put your own money in. Be nice to everybody, even if it kills you. It's called respect for yourself. That's what it's called. Respect for yourself. You're not respecting them because they've earned your respect. You're doing it for yourself. Wake up every morning with your head held high because you have respect for yourself. And also, do that also for yourself. You will only entertain people who respect you as a person, as a human. You respect me, I respect you. You disrespect me, first time, I'm going to still respect you because that's me respecting myself. Because there won't be a second time. You disrespect me once, I'm going to respect that you did that because you're not going to get a second chance. What you know. All right, well, I'm going to get on out of here. I got some homework to do. Thank you, White Boy with Bangs, for coming in and giving me a homework assignment. I appreciate it. I'm going to check up on that, so don't forget to come back because I'm going to have you answer for you. Y'all have a good night. Be kind to one another as best you can. Keep respect for yourself. Keep your money for yourself and put it in your own place. I'm talking about creators. When you get your money, have it for yourself. Do what you got to do, but quit all 25 people sharing an account. Come on. I got a drink. Not a real drink. My real drinks are pomegranate. If you've never had it before, it will sufficiently put you on your butt. It's a strong drink. All right, y'all go out, have a good time, stay out of trouble, and I'll see you back here next time. Bye-bye.